Hello, everyone. How you doing? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're having a good day, good night, or a good morning. This is Miriam, and welcome to my ASMR. For the new people, I want to tell you that this is not a ASMR trigger channel. This is mostly for people that like to read, they like books, because we love books in here. And this time we're reading Aristotle, and I have to tell you that we either in this channel we read or I read, and I'll bring you the recap. So if you're looking for a good ASMR channel with the triggers, like they have triggers and things like that, I don't have that here, but I can gladly give you the name of some accounts that you can find very easily and very helpful. So let me know if you need that on the comments, or send me an email and I will happily give you that list. Anyway, if you want to stay here, I hope you enjoyed this. We're reading Aristotle, and so far I'm actually falling not in love, but I'm getting very interested about this book. From what I'm reading, it's getting very interesting. And today we're gonna continue, and we're gonna catch on chapter 9. Chapter 9 that talks about the two different art of acquisition. The first one basically is about the natural form of acquisition, and the second one is just the art of acquisition. The natural form of acquisition is about accumulation and currency. For example, we can exchange wine for bread. So that's natural form of acquisition. It's just things that certain things that can be exchanged for equal value. Those are the things that are considered natural form of acquisition. The art of acquisition is not about limit. It's only about limit. It's not about limit to wealth and property. Basically, you can have as many properties and as much money as you want. And how does that work? Well, that work on, I'm going to give you an example. Like, for example, if you buy a house, that's a property. And if you rent the property, you can rent a property. Or it can be a house or a manufacturer. It can be any property that will give you some sort of profit. Okay, so that is art of acquisition. When if you have as many properties and you rent them and you get them as much profit, you can get super rich, and that is part of that. Also, they talk about how men put value on money. For example, before, people used to have metal. So metal is like gold or silver, and they used to go with the little bags, right? And then they used to be like, oh, okay, I'll give you this much. I'll give you a pound of gold for like 50 sheep, for example. And then that will be exchanged, and that will be considered as a natural form of acquisition, because it's exchangeable for the same value of those sheep or anything that they wanted to get. So everything changed till someone said, you know what, we're gonna put this is not working, so we're gonna put a value on this metal. And then that's how the banks started saying, well, so everybody bring your metal here, and then we'll give you a value. And then they start making these little coins, like pennies and 10 cents and all those things, and saying, okay, you gold, okay, this is this much, okay, fine, go. And that's how they started currency. That's how they started like measuring money, and that's how everybody lost their gold and lost that part of life, basically. Like, no more weighing your gold or your silver for some exchanging that, basically. So that was part of chapter 9. So on chapter 10, we talk about household management. And household management basically talks about the difference that the different tasks of a household management, which are, for example, the skills of knowing what kind of vegetables are good to sell, or if you sell wool, what type of wool goes to the rich and which one goes to the poor. Because back then, everything, like, even though if you have wool, you will basically like kind of consider the best part, like cleaning, like the parts that were cleaner and in the best pieces for the rich, right? And basically, like, household management is basically a manager that makes sure that everything that is sell, like I said, it can be like from vegetables to fabrics, to anything, just basically checking the quality, right, and knowing where it's going to go. So that's how it's like management started, I guess. So yeah, because before that, like, everybody used to just sell whatever, but then it came out, and someone said, you know what, I'm gonna get a manager that check quality and all of those things, right? So that's the household management. And this chapter 10 was super short, like that was like 10, like 2 pages. It was crazy. So the last chapter 11, that was a little bit longer, and the chapter 11 it talks about basically the practical consideration of the art of acquisition and the successful practices of the art, especially by the creation of the monopolies. Yeah, this is great. So the part of our art of acquisition which are actually used are the experiences of farm stock, which involves knowing what are the most profitable breeds, also knowing what soil and treatment will give greatest profit, right? Another is cultivation, for example. The same thing, like just knowing like what vegetables are gonna get faster or better and more profitable. And also includes investment and interest, like basically like you borrow money for someone, like you pay interest and all of that stuff, right? Even for investment. So the service for hiring this means like skilled people, or not skilled people, but people that are strong for labor. Basically, if there was also someone that said, okay, what do you know how to do? Okay, I know how to write. Okay, fine. So you go here. What do you know? No, I don't know anything, but I'm strong. Okay, go to the label, like to the farms or things like that. So basically, like all of that, all of those things, like they were part of the monopoly, right? And you have to manage things like that to make yourself rich. It's like now, like business owners, like they think, okay, do you know how to send an Excel sheet? Okay, fine. So you're gonna do my whatever, like things like that. That is part of something that you want to grow. Also talks about the story tales of these men, which I'm gonna tell you. These story tales are amazing because okay. And so basically, there was a poor man, and the only thing that he had was like an olive land, and with the money he had like saved through the years, like he hired people to help him to get those olives like basically out, and he became famous because obviously on his own he can't really do much, but with all of these people that he hired, he was able to produce more olives and to get them out and sell them. So what happened, like after that, like obviously he became famous, he had more money, so now he had more money to grow his business. Now he's getting more money to hire some more people to keep going. Let me drink some water because I'm very thirsty. Okay, so yeah, so basically, like once you start getting more and more and more money, like you get more chances to win in the market, because you can hire more people and you can get so much more produce out. So the other tale is about this guy from Sicily, and he decided to buy all the iron from the iron works. And when the retails came from the shop to get get a supply of iron, he was the only seller from whom they can buy, because basically, like, and this is how he started monopoly, because he looked around and he said, you know what, okay, this person is like wasting all this iron after he does whatever, right? Maybe a chair or whatever. So all this crap metal, basically, like he said, you know, I'm gonna buy it all, buy everything. So I'll become the only company that can supply that. So when all of these people from the retails wanted some iron, they will come, and they had to go through him, because he was the only one in town that sells that iron. And then that's the way he created monopoly, and that's how he got rich. Obviously, like, I'm pretty sure monopoly was in other places, but that's how he did it in his town in Sicily. So I do have another story about this, very interesting, very inspiring. I read it in a book that I totally forgot the name. I know I'm horrible with names, guys, but this story is about a Jewish couple. They moved to New York like in the 1920s or something like that, like right when, like, it probably was before 1920s, like almost like at the time when all the immigration was happening and all of that. So basically, like, these guys or this couple, like, they were living like in Manhattan, and the man was going out in the streets to look for a job, because they only had like a little studio, and obviously they want the American dream, right? Like, get a job or get a business, like, I don't know, make it. So what happened is, give me a second, let me pause this because there are sirens. Awesome. There was a siren and it was too loud. Anyway, so basically, like, one morning he said to his wife, okay, I'm gonna go out and see what I can find. He stood like in, I don't remember if it was Times Square, but he stood in the street and he looked around. And it was during winter, and he looked at everyone, and they didn't have coats. He had a coat because his wife made one for him, I think, but they didn't really. There was no one store that, oh, okay, we sell coats. And he realized that was a business to be. So he came back home, and he told his wife, make me 3 or 5 of these coats. And then the wife started sewing, and she sewed for the whole night, and she give it to him. And the next day, he goes outside, and he starts just selling them in the street like coats, right? He sold them so quick. So when he sold them, he grabbed more, he went to get more fabric, and then he came back and he told his wife, okay, make me more. So basically at some point they were like hiring people, because obviously, like, they needed that. Well, long story short, they became super famous. They had money to open a manufacturer and work on coats. And I think their dream, or like their business, went all the way to, I don't remember if it was Sears or Macy's, but they were the first almost like first brand of coats that were in a department store. So it was really amazing how these people dream, like, and how, like, they say, okay, let me see what they don't have, and how can I be the only one. And basically this is almost a little bit like the Monopoly guy, right? The Sicily guy. Like, he said, I'm gonna take all the iron, and they had to come to me. Same thing that he did, this guy did. So anyway, so this is basically like the story in the 3 chapters that we read this week. I'm sorry if I'm not being super constant, but it's been a lot going on and I haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down. Give me a second. Sorry, like there's so many talks. Okay. So so I'm gonna try to read more and to bring you more information, more about the book. I really think it's getting super interesting. What do you think? Let me know on the comments. I can't wait to finish this because I can't wait to start reading my other book that I've been waiting to read. I remember I just chose this book because my husband didn't want to read it, and I said, you know what? And I told him to read it, and he didn't do it. Like he didn't feel it. Give me a second. So because he didn't, I just adopted. But yeah, like I think it's getting really good. And I'll see you until the next time. Take care, everyone, and comment about it. Thank you. Bye.